Now, the 1995 Rugby World Cup had a far-reaching impact on South Africa, and areas which the country hardly played rugby have opened their doors to the sport of rugby. One such area is Soweto, known for churning out talented soccer players. Some kids have now left the round ball to focus on the oval ball. Joining me this morning is Katlego Dikobo, a man who keeps the rugby dream alive in townships across Gauteng, coaching youngsters in the hope of carving a career in the sport. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. Thank you for having me.
And Katlego, I want to start with that landmark moment. I mean, we've just watched that insert now. When you look at a country that for so long was divided along the racial lines, now in a new dawn, coming together as a country to support one team. Speak to me about what that moment was like for you. Where were you? Where were you watching the final? And how was it for you when you saw the Springboks lift the trophy?
Yeah, I mean, I was at home in 1995. I was actually 10 years old. And I was at home in Vosloorus watching this big moment. And obviously it was a moment a year after the sort of elections. And, you know, I think the power of the moment is that you've got elections, you've got politics, you've got all of that. But that World Cup win really solidified all that which the guys were trying to achieve in terms of, you know, the politics of it. It was the moment that we all felt for the first time unified as a nation, and actually saying we actually can be unified in our diversity and actually become world champions at something. So it was just that pinnacle moment where it all came together. And from that day onwards, I was hooked, and we are here now many years later, still hooked.
Still hooked. And speaking about being still hooked to the game of rugby, we look at how it is able to have a footprint in every sector. It breaks through the racial lines, the economic lines. Talk to me about being a carrier of dreams and townships through the sport of rugby.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think my quick personal story is that I had a very privileged sort of rugby school career. Through rugby, I was able to get scholarships into prestigious schools and prestigious universities and actually make a life for myself. I did not make it into professional rugby, but what I learned from rugby has enabled me to become the man that I am today. And those are very, very important pillars, you know, the sense of community, the sense of discipline, the sense of responsibility, the sense of a cause, you know, fighting together towards something. You know, those tenets have been very, very critical in building me as an individual. And I think the more, you know, we experience it is what we realize that we actually need to empower youngsters with these very same tools. And, you know, sometimes we have got, yes, the classroom is very important, but there are these soft key societal pillars and philosophies that need to be taught to our kids. And I think rugby as a man-made sport actually encompasses all of that, and that's why we and myself really love rugby, and we want to make sure that rugby then gets played and experienced by a larger number of young people, you know, so that we can build a very, very common value system based from rugby. Just a quick history. I mean, rugby is a man-made sport. It was actually designed very deliberately to almost assimilate wartime-like a scenario. So, for example, you run forward, but you pass backwards. So you can never run away from your support. It allows for room for flair, but you can never run behind away from support. The other thing also is that people, both genders, you know, men and females, all sizes have got a place in rugby. So the sense of community, the sense of that you can become great. You've got a Cheslin Colby, who's the smallest guy, you know, and you've got some of the very, very big guys, yet they're able to come together, bring different skills, and actually become team players. And as a country, that's what we should be striving for.
Tell us more then about the work that you specifically focus on the back of everything you've just said at TRY and what you're aiming to do.
So TRY is a platform. TRY stands for Township Rugby Youth. At the moment, it's very, very community-based, so it's at the cold front of rugby development, and that's what we're trying to do. So you've got a platform called Craven Week, which is really an elite sort of performance. Exactly. But at the opposite end of it, you know, so you've got the opposite end of it is TRY at the very, very cold phase of development, and we are operating currently now in 12 communities across, you know, 2 clubs in Soweto. I mean, some of these clubs are playing in parks, you know, they've got no infrastructure. So 2 clubs in Soweto, in Alexander, in the inner city, in Riverlea, Davidsonville, all the way through to, we just brought in Orange Farm now in Kagiso, and we've actually got, this year we're going to aim to get about 1,800 kids playing, and about a 60-40% split between boys and girls, ages from 11 all the way through to under 18s. And they'll be playing over a 10-week weekend program, and it's been a phenomenal success. I mean, it's our second year of doing it. We've partnered with the University of Johannesburg, so we use their fields every Saturday. We play 30 games every Saturday, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. As a result of just our last year's activity, we've now got 9 kids who have gotten scholarships to Parktown. St. Stephen's Boys College has been a phenomenal support. I mean, they even offered us a 300,000 rand a year scholarship to one of our players. And earlier on this year, they actually gave us the privilege of playing at the St. Stephen's Rugby Festival. And what we're trying to do there again is expose our kids to these sort of privileged platforms and actually set a standard that in all the rugby festivals across the country, there should be a development platform. So that is a platform that we have set up. It's rugby, yes, it's removing kids from the streets, giving them the tools. We've got a pledge in place. It's not just about the sport, it's also about building the human capacity, right? So.
Thank you so much, Katlego. I do wish we had more time, but we've gotten a good, succinct wrap from you in terms of what you're doing out at Try. And we're just looking back and speaking to the impact that winning that Rugby World Cup 30 years ago has done for South Africa. I mean, 4 trophies later, we can see the sport continuing to grow and young people being inspired. Katlego Dikobo joining us this morning to talk more about rugby.